Hello, welcome to my channel, Purple Theorizes. This is my first video, and we are going to be playing through Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. It's going to be a bit different. I am also going to be talking a lot, like a lot, in the voiceover, about just different sections of the lore, and I'm not gonna go into anything outside of chapter 1 except for like one detail, but that just counts for all of the chapters because you'll see. But yeah, I guess let's just jump right into it. Yeah. Let's just skip it. Okay, chapter 1, a tight squeeze. As an ex-employee of Playtime Co., you finally returned to the factory many years after everybody within disappeared. Yes. Okay, so we are going to go green again.
You are about to see the most incredible doll ever invented.
Most incredible.
Her name is Poppy, and she is the first truly intelligent doll in the world.
I see.
A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers. She is the first doll actually able to have a conversation with a child.
I see.
Hard to believe?
Yes.
Just watch.
Okay.
Poppy Playtime!
Poppy's as lovable as a real girl, and she talks like one, too.
Hi, my name is Poppy. I love you. Can you help me polish my shoes?
Why, of course, Poppy. Just like a real girl, Poppy always wants to look her best.
Perfect! Thank you.
Her hair is sturdy and won't come out when you brush it, and smells just like a poppy flower. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Poppy?
I'm a real girl.
Nuh-uh.
Just like you.
What's the
What if I'm
time?
not a girl?
Playtime!
And if you've ever wanted to see how all of the nation's favorite toys were created, Playtime Co. is now offering factory tours at just $2.99 a
What?
person. An entire hour in the most magical toy
This is not
factory on
magical.
Earth. What are you waiting for?
Weird. Why are
Come
you-
visit the
why are the heads
factory.
swinging around?
We can
Okay. Big red poppy flower. I think that's poppy, at least I'm not sure. Poppy playtime. Ah. Hello. Yeah, this is the very first voiceover. So, I want to talk about, first of all, this letter from the staff, which I'm sure you already read. It makes me wonder how they sent that, because it's obviously in a package. So, first of all, who sent him that? Was it Poppy? And if so, how did she send him that? It seems like there is nobody outside of the factory that knows about what's going on here. At least not that we know of. Since pretty much all the employees died in the Hour of Joy. Which, if you don't know what the Hour of Joy is, go watch another YouTube video. I might explain it later on, but not right now. So, first of all, I want you to see how some of the doors are kind of boarded up, which is, I mean, partly just because you can't get out, you're playing a horror game. But, so this, either somebody, it could just be that the factory has been down, but there's like the boards seem very purposely placed. So that might be purposeful by something, but we gotta listen to the very first tape of the video. Alright. What do you have to say for us?
Hi,
Oh.
my name is Leith Pierre, and I'm the head of innovation here at the Playtime Co. Toy Factory.
Alright.
If you're seeing this, then you're trespassing.
Oh.
Yeah, we play this little tape on loop whenever we close the factory for the day. So, trespasser, just to make you aware, while we pride ourselves primarily on our high-quality toys and excellent child care, we also pride ourselves on our security. For example, this facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system. No spoilers. So, you've got my warning. It's not too late to turn around. I just hope that you're certain whatever you're doing is worth it.
Okay. Alright. Well, that video was pretty interesting. What to talk about it? Well, first of all, it said that they pride themselves on their security, which, as we see later in the video, that security is pretty tight. But it makes me wonder, why did they go to such lengths to protect this place? It's just a toy factory. Like, what are they gonna do? Steal some toys? I mean, like, I get that maybe making these toys is expensive, and so it's a good idea to have good security. But I mean, it's a little overboard. If you have already seen a Chapter 1 playthrough, it's a bit overboard. So, like, why is that? And it makes me wonder if they're protecting something that other people are not supposed to be seeing. Like a lot of things. They're not supposed to be seeing a lot of things. So, yeah, I think that the only reason they went so overboard with this is just because, you know, maybe there's some other things that, not supposed to be seen. And actually, I would like to talk about something I said earlier. But you will have to wait until the end of this next tape. The only thing I have to say about the grab pack is, like, did the employees actually use this, like, around the facility? Because there always seems to be stuff to use with the grab pack, so I'm guessing yes. Yes. Yes, Huggy Wuggy, the star of the show. You all know him, you all love him. Big, blue, fluffy, and he gets a bit angry sometimes. But that's besides the point. Let's talk about him. This is kind of one of the biggest sections. Well, he has a school song. Your friend Huggy, Huggy Wuggy, will squeeze you until you pop. Yeah. But I want to talk about the sign that's here. And you guys don't have to read it. I will just talk about it. But the first thing is, on the sign, it says that Huggy Wuggy, it was a success with Playtime Co.'s 4-step process to creating the most lifelike toys. So, and the founder, Elliot Ludwig, had a process, apparently? So, this guy had plans. This wasn't just some, like, idea he randomly had and decided that it could make money. Like, he actually put a lot of thought into this. And on the other portion of the sign, it says that it actually tells us what Huggy Wuggy is made out of, which is string and polyester, which is pretty guessable, actually. But I really want to focus on the process part of it. So this just goes to show you that this was not Huggy Wuggy was not an accident at all. Oh no, it was very purposeful. Alright, the next section I want to talk about is this puzzle, and actually all puzzles in general. Why is there a random electrical puzzle in an electrical room? Like, this is not... If, let's say this was real life. Let's say the factory workers actually had to do that. Why would they have to solve a random puzzle in order to turn on electricity? Like, just flip the breaker or something. It is not... It's not that... Like, I just don't understand it. And the next part I want to talk about is actually when you see his hand, Huggy's hand, come off that door. Thus, this hallway is now empty. That was 2 seconds. 0.2 seconds before we're able to get to here. And he's gone. He's gone. What I'm trying to say is, if we just go off of that, Huggy Wuggy is so fast. Which is hilarious, because on a side note, I actually saw something recently that talked about how Huggy Wuggy is actually not that fast. So, could this piece of information contradict that? Well, yes and no. I'm wondering if this is actually not part of the lore at all, because, I don't know. Other evidence proves that he's actually pretty much only as fast as us, but I'm thinking with those long legs, like, he's just gotta be super fast. And honestly, he cleared that hallway in, like, no seconds. Honestly, it's insane. Alright, so some boring gameplay happened, so skip. Alright, good. The next thing I want to talk about is just a weird thing I found while playing the game, which is this little hole. What is this hole used for? Was it attached to something? Some kind of like pipe to send toys through? It honestly just looks like a kind of like trash hole. But it just seems really out of place. You know, I don't know, it seems like it's meant for something. Meant for something. I have no idea what it is. Also, I do want to point out that the section we're in right now is still outside. You could see outside, not outside, sorry. We can still see outside. So we're not, you know, deep into the factory yet or anything. Alright, and this is the next tape, which is the orange tape. This one's not as important, but I find it interesting.
Rich, where are they keeping the Huggy boxes?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Remember when maintenance last did a sweep of this place?
No.
Exactly. Nobody in this stupid company knows what they're doing. Oh, I swear, I haven't seen a single box in its place since they started flooding the storehouse with orphanage junk.
Right.
I get it. It's a nice program and all on brand, but it's just hard to be happy about it when manufacturing's on our necks about it, because we can't find stupid Huggy boxes.
Rich.
You're right. You're right. It's for the orphans. I just wish there were less boxes. Anything less would be more habitable. Is that even a word? Habitable.
So, I really don't have much to say about this one, other than the fact that it seems that the employees are really not too happy. At least some of them aren't. Which makes me kind of wonder if some other things were going on when the Hour of Joy happened. If there was, some other thing that maybe Ali Ludwig was planning to do with the employees, or maybe that's where all the, subjects for the toy making comes from. Employees. Other thing that I want to talk about is, much like the electrical puzzle from before, why do they have a puzzle in the vents? And also, what kind of ventilation system is this? It's almost like it's meant for people to be able to be inside it. Like, is this where you actually choose to put your power puzzles, or whatever you want them to be? Like, honestly, I have more and more questions every single time I play this game. The next minutes are just me trying and failing miserably at this puzzle, so I'm gonna be skipping it.
So, Stella, what made you want to work at the Playtime Co. factory?
Playing with toys when I was young was so magical. I could go straight from my bedroom floor to anywhere in the world. It was such a great feeling. And being able to work at a toy factory, somewhere that can provide kids with that same experience, that's a pretty great feeling too. Sometimes though, I really wish I could go back. To being a kid, I mean. And it's weird, because adults are just kids, but older. I don't think anyone ever really feels like an adult, but your body just gets older and older, and then you die. Poof! Human bodies just can't stay young forever. There's things though, like some trees that can stay alive even while being way older than the person. I mean, the oldest people to ever live are still younger than those. So I guess everyone is always young relative to something. Right?
Alright, I think we're getting a little off track.
Alright, that is a big piece of information. I'm talking about the part where she said that humans can't live forever, which is true, but the way she said it, we can't, and they said our bodies just keep getting older and older and older. And mixed in with the parts about everybody being young to something, I think this interview is actually the interview that spurred on, making people into toys. Which, I will go into that process and everything, in other chapters. But, this is a good piece of evidence. Right here. And just one little tape. And, just elaborating on that, we can talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So, in chapter 1, we don't know we're a lot of information is left out. This is what I'm trying to say. So I have only a little bit to work with here. In later chapters, like even in chapter 2 only, there's tons more information. But chapter 1 is just so short. But that's okay. We can do it. We'll be okay. So I'm kind of going to be summarizing here what we've learned so far, and putting it all together to make a little something. So what I've gathered so far is that Elliot Ludwig, which is the founder of Playtime Co., I think he just originally started wanting to make toys. I think toys was really his main thing. But then in the orange tape that we saw, we see that some of the employees are really not happy. I will bring in a little something that's not from the chapter. But we see in later documents that things started to decrease in quality, not in the toys, in the company itself. Like, there was lawsuits trying to be filed, tons of stuff was going on. The company was about to go poof. No more company. And then, a little character that I will not be talking about suggested the idea of creating people into toy bodies. Giant toys, essentially. And that was the original plan. Giant toys. I'm not actually sure if they originally planned to have them to be fully conscious or not. But that's what happened. So, womp womp. Alright, I want to talk for a tiny section about this machine. And as you can see right now, the eyes of the red machine actually follows the player, which is unsettling. So I have a hypothesis, like, what if that was a human once too? Alright, a fair warning to anybody watching. This next part is the fabled Huggy Wuggy chase of Chapter 1. So, if you get scared easily, fair jump scare warning for him walking out. But, other than that, I will be talking probably throughout the entire chase, because, we have stuff to talk about. So, yeah. Alright, first thing is not something important, but if you looked at Huggy then, his design actually changed in the later games, which is pretty cool. Alright, now on to the chase. First of all, I want you to know how Huggy keeps ending up at different vent parts, which, I mean, is a horror game, so, you know, chase sequence. But I think this would be something to mean that Huggy knows these vents pretty well, which goes to show that he might have done this before, if you get what I mean. Now, the other thing is, I want you to know all these writings, so other people have been here, because there is all the writing on the walls, and unless Huggy did that, or it's somebody else, I mean, come on, this is a pretty good piece of evidence. Combine those together. Huggy has been in these vents, and has done this a lot, I would think. Chasing other people through the vents? Yeah, and it even gets even more, so people wrote these, and they wrote these with a purpose. Alright, I am now going to point out that I need you to see how easily the top conveyor belts broke. Which, I mean, combined with a person is not supposed to be on there, yes, and Huggy Wuggy, I guess, was on there too, but
Oh, so conveniently placed.
I guess Huggy Wuggy's heavy. But we were able to stay in this fence, so I don't know, why would this be any different? But it seems pretty weak, so I'm kind of wondering if they don't, if the company does not spend that much time and money on these conveyors. But, you know, that's my personal question.
But we have got one more tape to watch, and I have actually never fully watched it either. First time I played through this game, I only played it the game and did not give it anything special, but let's watch this one.
Final log. In relation, experiment 1006, the prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type. Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him. His absence was a flaw in the scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for. That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice. Any future experiments will need to be contained and disposed of in a secure location. I'm not worried about myself. One breakthrough and I'll be back. We must forge onwards in the name of science, whether those who are beneath us understand it or not. End of...
Alright, now this is the most important tape in the Chapter 1 game. Playtime. And it's not because of the log exactly. I think it's because of when the log was made. You heard all the screams in the background, and you heard that, like, that screamish monster thing. That was Huggy Wuggy. And and behind him in the Sennoi's background, I believe it was the Hour of Joy. Yeah. So actually, we get all those mentions in Chapter 1. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to my very first video. And that door that we were just hitting is the door to Chapter 2, if you didn't know. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Purple Theorizes out.
You opened my case.
Amogus.